All right, what's going on, guys? It is an absolutely beautiful day today. Might be the best day that we've had in many, many months now. It was a nice 64 degrees this morning when I got in the car to go to work, and it was a nice 76 degrees this afternoon when I got in the car after work to come here. We're going to be fishing the little Leland Lures Trout Slayer. So this is a little crawfish, fairly small, under 2 inches. I've done very, very well with this lure on several different creeks and rivers in different parts of the country. Unfortunately, in this part of the country, down in South Florida, we don't really have many creeks or rivers. But we'll fish this thing today on this lake. We'll see what we can get on it, and then we'll do a little review and a recap of the day and of the lure at the end. So let's give it a shot, and let's see what happens. Alright, so here's the lure. I think it's a very nice imitation of like a natural crawfish. Sometimes crawfish lures don't look very natural. This one does. Wasn't sure what kind of jig head to go with it, because I don't really have a green jig head. I guess chartreuse is the closest that I could do with it. So we'll flip that out there. We'll let it sink toward the bottom. We'll swim it and twitch it just a bit here. Water levels here are dropping, and they're dropping fast. They're down several feet from where they were, 4, 6, 8 weeks ago. But that happens this time of year. Now let's hope we can still find some fish here close to shore. Got him. Took long enough. We got our first fish of the day. On the smaller side, Mayan cichlid. Alrighty, so there's our first fish. Hopefully it comes out well in the sun there. A somewhat medium, but on the smaller side, sized Mayan cichlid. And there's not a lot of fish over here today. Normally when I'm fishing here, the last month, 2 months or so, even here close to shore, I could at least see some fish. Today I've seen absolutely nothing. So I think as the water levels have dropped, most of these fish have moved on into some deeper water. But we'll keep fishing. We'll see if we can catch some other stuff here on the Leland Lures Trout Slayer. Got him on the drop. I cast it out. I went and checked the time on my phone, and when I went to reel back in, we had a fish on. A pretty okay size little Florida bass. This is a nice catch. All right, nice fish. Not a big one, but he's a chunky little one. Probably about 12 inches. Not great at estimating, but a good size on some lighter gear like this. Let's get him back. Let's keep going. The action's slow, but as long as we can pick away at a couple here and there, I'll be happy. Got him. Saw this guy hit. Nice little Florida bass. Yeah, so I saw a shadow of this guy, and then I saw my very, very brightly colored jig head just kind of disappear in the darkness. So I knew this guy bit. Not massive, but an okay size little largemouth. Let's throw that guy back on in there. Let's keep fishing. Ooh, that guy hit right on the drop. Another Florida bass about the same size. Let's take a look at this one. Alright, this is a nice size one, a chunky little one. Looks like he got attacked by something. There's a scar up there and a scar down there. I don't know what that would have been. A bird, a turtle, alligator, who knows. But nice catch. So that guy's back. Let's fish for a few more minutes, see if we can get anything else on the little trout slayer. Got him. That was a nice take. But it's wrapped up in all of this algae. I'm not even sure if it's still, oh yeah, it's still on. I was gonna say all I could feel is the algae. I don't feel the fish anymore, but I just saw the tail of a peacock bass. All right, so it's a small one, but this is gonna be a nice one to end it on. We are basically at the end of the fishable part of the lake. And even this part isn't really that fishable. It's just overgrown with so much algae. And then over there, the entire shoreline's covered with like 40, 50 feet. The lily pads extend like 40, 50 feet out, so it's completely unfishable. But yeah, that's gonna do it. Let's head home. Let's talk about the little Leland Lures trout slayer. All right, guys, so that's going to do it. And number one, I'd say it was a pretty good day. Hour and a half of fishing. We got, was it 3 Florida bass, a mine cichlid, and a peacock bass, which wasn't too bad. I also had maybe another 3 or 4 hits, and some of them felt really good. Just wasn't able to hook up with them or catch them, so not sure what that was about. But we probably could have added another 3 or 4 fish. That would have been an outstanding day with the little Leland Lures trout slayer. So, the first time I've ever fished this lure was about 5.5 years ago now. It was the summer of 2020. I was up in New Jersey fishing the Raritan River. I fished this thing. I caught a couple nice little smallmouth bass, so some green sunfish, red breast sunfish, and rock bass. And I think that is really the kind of application where this lure is going to absolutely shine. Fishing it in some like smaller rivers, smaller creeks for like some river and creek species. Because crawfish are going to be found in creeks and rivers a lot more often than they're going to be found in lakes and ponds and things like that. So this is going to be a very natural looking presentation and a very natural looking bait to use, or I guess not bait, but a natural looking lure to use in those sorts of creeks and rivers. I also did very well with this thing up in North Florida. Fished it on the Santa Fe River, got some Swanee bass, as well as some spotted sunfish and red breast sunfish. So if you're looking for a small crawfish imitation, I think this is an excellent lure. If you've watched my channel recently, a couple weeks ago, maybe a month or 2 ago, I released a video about the burrow bug from mule fishing, which is also a crawfish imitation. And both of these lures are really, really nice. They're really, really similar. They both have their advantages and disadvantages. The advantages of this lure, I think, are threefold. One, I think it looks very, very natural. It looks like a little mini crawfish. The second advantage is the size. I think it is a perfect size, big enough where you're going to be able to fish it effectively in some like heavier current because it has a little bit of weight to it, but still small enough where basically any sort of fish, even some of these smaller panfish, are going to be able to bite this thing. And the third advantage is the price. All right, these things are fairly cheap. You can get a pack of, I don't even know how many come in there. You get a couple jig heads and maybe a dozen soft plastics or something like that for under $10. Or you can buy these in like a smaller pack with like 2 jig heads and like 4 soft plastic or something for like $2.99. So they are fairly cheap. Durability, I'd say it's like average. They're not stretchy at all. And when I did fish it back on the Raritan River, I remember the claws got pulled off fairly regularly. But for such a cheap price, the durability isn't a big deterrent. But that is somewhat of a deterrent. I think if Z-Man made a small little crawfish lure like this, or if Nico made a small little crawfish lure like this, I think those would be absolute killers. But they don't. So I think either this or the burrow bug are my top 2 little crawfish imitations. Still not really sure on which one, but this is just an excellent little lure. I liked it when I first fished it 5 years ago. I've liked it for the last 5 years, and I still like it now. So really happy with it. It's a great little lure. Not much else I could say about it, but if you're looking for a small little crawfish imitation, I think this is one you can get and be happy with. So I hope you guys liked it, and I'll see you guys next time.